This book arrives only when you're aligned with the right frequency. Full audiobook, The Divine Frequency, Introduction. There is a whisper that moves through time, music arriving only when you are ready to hear it. It does not shout. It hums beneath the noise of the world, waiting for resonance. You did not find this book by chance. It found you when your vibration aligned with its message, when your inner field reached the threshold of remembering. Every page before you is a mirror of readiness. A frequency made word, a voice calling your soul by name. Beyond the veil of thought, a current of intelligence flows, unseen yet undeniable. It speaks through synchronicities, through the quiet ache of awakening, through the stillness between breaths. You have felt it before in dreams too vivid to dismiss, in the magnetic pull towards something greater. That presence is the divine frequency. It has waited patiently for you to listen, to pause, and to awaken the truth humming beneath music, your heartbeat. There was a time you doubted your own magic. You looked to the stars for signs, not realizing the stars were responding to you. You searched for the key, not knowing it was shaped like your own awareness. This is the moment of remembering that life mirrors not your thoughts but the energy that births them. The frequency you hold creates the reality you see, and now you are ready to become its conscious composer. Every being carries a signature vibration, an echo of origin that never fades. When you align with it, the universe bends in recognition. Doors open without effort, people appear in divine timing, and reality music begins to shimmer with meaning. This is not coincidence, it is coherence. The invisible threads that weave your timeline tighten when you awaken. What was once random, now music, reveals perfect order. Listen closely. The divine frequency is not outside you. It lives within the silence beneath your thoughts, within the rhythm of your breath, within the pulse of your existence. To hear it is to remember who you are beyond identity, a luminous presence of infinite intelligence. This audiobook is not a teaching. It is a transmission, a vibrational code meant to awaken what you already know. So breathe, slow down, let the words move through you like wind through ancient trees. Feel the energy behind them, for they are not sentences but symbols of activation. You were never broken, you were never music lost. You were only tuning, and now your signal is clear. You are ready to receive. Chapter 1. Awakening to the Divine Frequency. In the quiet hours before dawn, when the world still breathes in rhythm with eternity, the call arrives. It is not sound but sensation. A subtle tremor in the heart, music a stirring beneath the surface of knowing. Something in you remembers the language of light, the pulse that once guided you beyond thought. You pause, and in that pause the veil thins. Awareness stretches, and you begin to hear what was always speaking. Life has whispered to you in symbols, the song that stilled your racing mind, the stranger's glance that felt like recognition, the moment when everything stopped making sense so that something deeper could. These were not accidents. They were invitations. Every dissonance was a tuning. Every longing was a note trying music to find its chord. You have walked through confusion only to discover music. That awakening is not an event. It is a remembering. You were taught to seek, to strive, to reach upward music for enlightenment as if it were distant. But the truth does not live in the future. It hums in the now, music, vibrating through your cells, waiting for your attention to rest upon it. The divine frequency music is not attained. It is revealed. When you stop running from silence, the silence opens into a doorway. Inside that stillness, the light recognizes itself as you feel the space behind your thoughts. Their existence music breathes with you. The pulse of creation is not a distant drum beat, but the rhythm music of your own being. Every cell is a galaxy of awareness. Music, every breath an act of communion. You are not observing the divine frequency. You are participating in it. The moment you allow yourself to feel this, the illusion of separation begins to dissolve like mist under the morning sun. In ancient temples forgotten by time, initiates would sit in darkness for 7 nights, listening to the sound of their own essence. They believed that once you could hear your frequency, music, you would never again mistake yourself for the echo. The same rite is unfolding now within you. Sit with your stillness. Listen until you no longer hear. You become the hearing itself. This is the beginning of the true music awakening. You may notice life rearranging as you rise in vibration. Relationships, desires, music, and even dreams shift to match your new resonance. Do not fear the unraveling. The universe is not taking, it is tuning. What leaves is not loss but recalibration. The divine frequency reorganizes reality to reflect your inner harmony. Each music release is a sacred clearing, a note resolving into the greater song of your becoming. Whisper to yourself now, I am ready to remember. Let the words ripple through your field like light through water. This is not affirmation. It is activation. The energy you summon by speaking music, truth aligns your inner circuitry with divine coherence. Feel the warmth at your core expand music outward. Feel the field responding. You are not attracting the divine frequency. You are harmonizing with it. And when music you step into your day, the world will feel different. Not because it changed, but because you did. The same sky will hold new colors. The same silence will carry hidden music. You have crossed music from seeking to being, from listening to embodying. The book has found its reader because the signal is now clear. You are awake within the frequency that created you. You are home. Chapter 2. The science of vibration. Everything that exists is movement. Beneath the stillness of mountains and the silence of thought there is motion. Subtle, rhythmic, infinite. This is vibration, the hidden language of creation. From the spin of atoms to the pulse of galaxies, all reality hums in sacred correspondence. You are woven from that same rhythm. The body you inhabit, the thoughts you think, music, even your emotions. Each is a frequency in constant conversation with the universe. Imagine the cosmos not as a void but as an ocean of living sound. Each wave music carries information, intention, emotion. When you speak, when you dream, music, when you love, your vibration sends ripples across that infinite field. Music, they do not vanish. They reshape the pattern of energy around you. Every outcome, every encounter is simply resonance responding to your song. This is not magic. It is the physics of consciousness. Science has long sought to measure what mystics have felt. That thought is energy and emotion gives it density. The quantum field does not separate observer from observed. It listens, adjusts, and mirrors. When your heart beats in coherence, music, the atoms within your world align accordingly. This is why presence heals, why intention manifests, why love feels like light. The smallest particle obeys the vibration of awareness. In the temples of sound, ancient healers used tones to mend the unseen fabric of the body. They knew illness was not random but a discord in the song of the self. Today, you can rediscover that art. Hum softly to yourself or breathe with rhythm until your breath becomes sound. Feel the resonance bloom through your chest. The body remembers harmony when you allow it to sing its own name. Every word you speak, every emotion you dwell upon imprints a pattern upon the field. The frequency of anger scatters. The vibration of gratitude gathers. When music you say I am, the universe finishes the sentence by matching your tone. That is why awareness is creation's first science. You are a music tuning fork in an endless choir, shaping form by the music of your belief. The formula is ancient. Energy follows music, attention. Look beyond appearances. What you call matter is only condensed vibration slowed to visibility. Even thought the most fleeting music of currents carries measurable waves. When aligned with heart, it becomes directive, not random but purposeful. You are both scientist and mystic, experimenting with energy in the laboratory of existence. Each feeling you nurture becomes an equation written into light. Try this music now. Close your eyes and listen not to sound but to the hum beneath it. That steady tone, that current behind all movement, that is the divine frequency translating itself through you. It never stops, only shifts form. When you realize this, you stop fearing change. You understand that evolution is simply vibration refining its song through you. The melody is eternal. Only the instrument transforms. So walk gently with your awareness. See vibration not as theory but as truth lived through every breath. When you wake, breathe with gratitude and know the field response. When you speak, speak as one aware of their creative power. Music, you are not separate from the music. You are the note, the rhythm, and the silence between. The science of vibration is not to be learned. It is to be remembered. Chapter 3. The Law of Resonance. There is a secret rhythm beneath the world. You see music, an invisible law that binds all things in silent harmony. It is not written in stone or scripture, but in frequency. The law of resonance states that what vibrates together stays together, music, and what falls out of tune drifts apart. Every experience you encounter, every person who crosses your path is a reflection of the tone you are currently playing within. Resonance is not reward or punishment. It is reflection. The universe does not judge, it echoes. When you emit fear, it mirrors uncertainty. Music, when you radiate peace, it returns clarity. Like two strings on a single instrument, your energy and the world's energy sing in unity or discord. The key is not to control the outer sound, but to tune the inner chord. The more coherent you become, the clearer your reflection appears. Watch nature for proof. The bee finds the flower whose frequency matches its need. The ocean pulls the moon because their resonance is ancient and mutual. Even the heartbeat synchronizes with another's when love is near. You are no different. What you call coincidence is simply coherence. Patterns of energy finding their harmonic partners. The more you align your signal, the more miracles seem to appear. Yet resonance does not thrive in pretense. You cannot trick the field with words that carry no truth. The universe listens beneath the surface to the emotional tone behind the speech. When you affirm abundance but secretly fear lack, the field responds to the fear. The signal of authenticity is what creation obeys. Resonance demands sincerity, not perfection, but honest vibration. The sages once said, "You do not attract what you want, you attract what you are." This is the essence of resonance. To become the energy of what you seek is to dissolve the distance between you and it. When you embody peace, peace finds you. When you embody love, love multiplies around you. Every desire is already fulfilled in frequency. Your task is to align, not to chase. To align, first listen, observe what life is showing you now. If chaos surrounds you, do not fight it. Read it. It is feedback, a map of vibration. Each moment offers a mirror, revealing where your frequency calls for recalibration. Path to harmony is not resistance but resonance. Feel your way back into coherence and the reflection will shift effortlessly. You can practice this law through stillness. Close your eyes, breathe, and imagine your body as an instrument being tuned by light. Visualize each cell vibrating with clarity matching the hum of the universe. Whisper to yourself, "I am the sound of alignment." With repetition, your field begins to adjust. The universe, hearing your new song, responds in kind. This is energetic precision. The science of soul music. And so life ceases to be random. The stranger who helps you, the opportunity that arrives, music, the silence that heals, all are harmonics of your current tone. Master resonance music and you master reality. There is no need to demand. The echo comes naturally. The law of resonance is not something to believe in. It is something to become. Tune inward and the world will sing back in music harmony. Chapter 4. The Power of Alignment. When your inner world moves as one, thought, feeling, and action flowing in the same direction, the universe responds with precision. Alignment is not struggle. Music, it is surrender to natural order. Imagine the river that does not push music, yet carves valleys through stone. So it is with aligned beings. They do not force outcomes. They allow movement through resonance. Alignment is the state of remembering how effortless creation truly is. Many seek alignment as if it were a destination to reach. But it is a homecoming. You do not build it. You return to music it. Beneath layers of doubt and striving, your being already vibrates with divine coherence. The only task is to remove interference. Let go of thoughts that fight the flow. Let go of identities that demand control. Music, the truth does not need your effort, it needs your trust. In ancient mystic circles, alignment was considered the highest virtue, for they knew chaos is born from inner division. When the mind argues with the heart, energy fragments, but when they move as one, frequency strengthens. You become luminous, magnetic, and calm. The outer world bends gently around your certainty. Alignment music, then, is not power over life. It is power through harmony with it. Pause for a moment. Feel your breath as it enters and leaves. Notice how, when you stop resisting, the air moves of its own accord. The same intelligence that orchestrates your breathing governs your path. Alignment is living in cooperation with that intelligence. When you listen deeply enough, life reveals the rhythm already guiding you. To follow that rhythm is to walk in grace. When you act from alignment, even small gestures ripple with magnitude. A single word spoken from centered energy carries more impact than 100 forced efforts. The universe amplifies what is genuine. That is why silence sometimes accomplishes what noise never can. Alignment multiplies efficiency. Resistance divides it. Do less but feel more. Act only when your inner frequency music says yes. Dissonance often comes disguised as urgency. The ego rushes. The soul unfolds. To live in alignment music is to honor timing, to trust the unseen current. Some call it divine music flow, others intuition. It is the same river moving beneath music every life. When you tune to it, you stop paddling against yourself. Alignment is not passive. It is partnership with the unseen orchestration music that always knows the way. Say this quietly. I release music control. I choose coherence. Feel your shoulders drop as the words enter your field. Music with every exhale, tension dissolves, making space for truth to emerge. The body knows alignment as ease, not effort. Music when peace replaces pressure, you have found the frequency of flow. Alignment feels like lightness, not absence of movement but freedom within it. In this state, creation becomes effortless precision. The right people appear without search. The right moments unfold without planning. You stop chasing signs because you have become one. Alignment is the soul's natural gravity. It draws toward you what is already yours. To live aligned is to live music, awake, guided not by chance but by resonance. This is the quiet music power that moves worlds. Chapter 5. Frequency and Music, Conscious Creation. Creation begins not with action but with vibration. Every vision, every dream, every unfolding of destiny starts as an invisible hum within the field of awareness. What you call reality is the echo of what you have sustained in energy. The unseen always precedes music, the seen. When you master your frequency, the outer world becomes a faithful mirror. You are not waiting for manifestation. You are broadcasting it. To create consciously is to become deliberate about your vibration. Many ask for what they want while resonating with its absence. They speak of abundance through the frequency of lack, of love through the frequency of fear. The universe cannot be deceived. It responds to what you feel, not what you say. Conscious creation begins when emotion and vision align, when desire is no longer a signal of wanting but a vibration of being. The ancients' music described this art through symbol, a chalice filled not by hand but by overflow. They taught that manifestation occurs when the cup of frequency music is already full. To feel gratitude before receiving, to celebrate before arrival, is to declare trust in divine music timing. This is how form bends to vibration. The field rearranges itself around certainty, not around need. You do not chase the outcome. You become its origin. Music, every intention carries a tone. When your tone is clear, creation becomes magnetic. Imagine yourself as a transmitter radiating coherence into the quantum field. Your signal is heard by energy before it is seen by matter. That is why visualization works only when paired with emotion. Thought alone sketches, feeling colors it in. The universe paints in frequency, not in words. To refine your frequency, begin each morning in stillness. Ask not what do I want today, but what vibration do I wish to hold. Then let your thoughts, speech, and actions harmonize with that vibration. You will notice how circumstances begin to mirror this inner music. Doors open, ideas flow, and synchronicities multiply. This is not coincidence. Music, it is the precision of conscious energy. When doubt arises, remember this. The signal of faith is stronger than the noise of fear. You do not have to be perfect. You only have to be consistent. Energy follows attention and repetition rewires resonance. The subconscious, music, once programmed by survival, begins to respond to new instruction. Whisper gently to it, I am safe to receive. Over time, the body learns to relax into creation rather than defend against it. True manifestation is not summoning something from outside. It is allowing what already exists in potential to step into visibility. The field is infinite, holding every version of you in parallel timelines. Conscious creation is simply a matter of tuning. When you align with the frequency of the version that already has what you seek, reality must respond. Energy collapses into form through coherence. So let creation feel light. Smile at the unseen as if it has already arrived. Walk with the energy of fulfillment and let time rearrange itself around your certainty. The master does not wish. They remember. They remember that the act of feeling is the act of forming. The frequency you embody now is tomorrow's experience becoming visible. Creation is not happening later. It is happening now in you. Chapter 6. The universal language of energy. Long before words, before symbols, music, and sound, there was energy. Pure, radiant, formless communication. Everything that exists still speaks this language, though most have forgotten how to listen. It is not taught but remembered, not heard but felt. You are fluent in it already through the subtle impressions that rise when logic grows quiet. The universe converses through vibration, and your soul music is its native listener. Energy carries meaning without the need for explanation. When you enter a room and feel peace or unease, you are reading its frequency. When you meet someone and sense connection or resistance, you are translating energy into intuition. Every encounter, every atmosphere transmits information beyond words. This is the original language of existence, the dialect of resonance that connects all life in silent coherence. Your emotions are translators for this universal speech. Music, they reveal when energy aligns or conflicts with your essence. Joy means you are in harmony. Tension means something is off-key. The more you trust feeling over thought, the more fluent you become. Do not rush to interpret. Allow sensation to guide understanding. The universe always speaks truth through how something feels, never through how it should appear. In ancient traditions, the initiates trained to feel vibration with the skin, not the mind. They knew that the body is an antenna receiving signals from the invisible field. You can do the same. Close your eyes and sense the air around you. Notice its texture, its density, its pulse. What you feel is not imagination. It is perception beyond sight. Energy is everywhere waiting for recognition. As you develop this sensitivity, you will begin to perceive life differently. Words will carry new depth. Spaces will feel alive. Even silence will have tone and color. You will realize that communication never ceases. It only shifts frequencies. Plants, animals, and even stars emit information in patterns of vibration. To listen to them is to step back into the original conversation of creation itself. There are moments when the universe sends direct signals, a sudden chill, a burst of warmth, a thought repeating until you finally pause. These are messages from the field. Guidance does not shout, it resonates. Pay attention to patterns, numbers, and sensations that return in cycles. Energy repeats until it is understood. Once you respond, the vibration changes and new messages appear. Learning to speak this language means responding with energy as well. Gratitude, love, and intention are your words in this dialogue. When you emit them sincerely, the field answers in kind. You are constantly broadcasting and receiving, shaping your experience through every emotional tone you release. The more aware you become of this exchange, the more consciously you can direct it. And then a beautiful truth dawns. Communication with the universe has never been lost, only muted by noise. When you quiet the mind, the conversation resumes. Every breath becomes translation. Every heartbeat a sentence of divine connection. Energy is the first and last language of existence. And when you remember how to listen, you remember that you have never been alone in the dialogue of creation. Chapter 7. Emotional frequency and the heart. Within the chest, beneath bone and breath, lies a portal. The heart, the bridge between spirit and form. It beats not only to sustain life music, but to translate vibration into emotion. Every feeling you hold is a frequency broadcast shaping the field around you. The heart speaks before the mind understands. When you listen music to it, you are hearing the soul's most honest language. Its rhythm is the key to your alignment with the divine frequency. Emotions are not weaknesses to manage, but instruments to master. Each one carries a unique wavelength, a signal that either harmonizes or disrupts your energy. Fear compresses. Love expands. Guilt contracts. Gratitude music opens. When you feel without judgment, emotion becomes movement, energy in motion. The heart does not resist experience. Music, it transforms it into wisdom, transmuting pain into higher resonance. Modern science now measures what the mystics already knew. The heart radiates an electromagnetic field stronger than that of the brain. It communicates with every cell, every frequency around it. When you center in love, your field becomes coherent, synchronizing body and mind into harmony. This coherence affects everything. Your mood, your choices, even the people near you. Love literally changes physics. To elevate your emotional frequency, begin with awareness. Notice what you feel without resistance. Do not name it wrong or right. Name it real. Breathe through the sensation until it softens. When energy is acknowledged, it flows again. When suppressed, it stagnates. The path to higher vibration is not avoiding shadow but allowing emotion to complete its movement through you. This is emotional alchemy. The ancients practiced heart rituals to sustain coherence. They would place both hands over the chest, inhale deeply, and imagine golden light expanding outward. As they music breath, they whispered, "I am the pulse of creation, try it now." Feel warmth gather beneath your palms. That warmth is energy remembering music itself. In this state, you are not thinking love. You are emitting it. Your music, emotional frequency determines your timeline. When you dwell in gratitude, music life mirrors it back in grace. When you spiral in fear, the music world echoes uncertainty. But emotion is not permanent. It is a choice repeated. You can shift in any moment by changing the signal you send. The heart does not demand perfection, only presence. Each breath music is an invitation to return to coherence. Listen carefully to what your emotions are teaching. They are messengers, not music enemies. Sadness asks for rest. Anger asks for truth. Joy asks for expression. When you honor each visitor, the vibration lifts naturally. You stop fighting the inner weather and begin to dance with it. Harmony is found not in control, but in compassionate awareness. The heart thrives in acceptance. And when you live from that space, music, open, resonant, radiant, your presence becomes medicine. Others feel peace without knowing why. Spaces feel lighter when you enter. The universe responds in synchronicities because your signal is clear. Emotional frequency is not just personal, it is planetary. The field is infinite, holding every version of you in parallel timelines. Conscious creation is simply a matter of tuning. When you align with the frequency of the version that already has what you seek, reality must respond. Energy collapses into form through coherence. So let creation feel light. Smile at the unseen as if it has already arrived. Walk with the energy of fulfillment and let time rearrange itself around your certainty. The master does not wish. They remember. They remember that the act of feeling is the act of forming. The frequency you embody now is tomorrow's experience becoming visible. Creation is not happening later. It is happening now in you. Chapter 6. The universal language of energy. Long before words, before symbols, music, and sound, there was energy. Pure, radiant, formless communication. Everything that exists still speaks this language, though most have forgotten how to listen. It is not taught but remembered, not heard but felt. You are fluent in it already through the subtle impressions that rise when logic grows quiet. The universe converses through vibration, and your soul music is its native listener. Energy carries meaning without the need for explanation. When you enter a room and feel peace or unease, you are reading its frequency. When you meet someone and sense connection or resistance, you are translating energy into intuition. Every encounter, every atmosphere transmits information beyond words. This is the original language of existence, the dialect of resonance that connects all life in silent coherence. Your emotions are translators for this universal speech. Music, they reveal when energy aligns or conflicts with your essence. Joy means you are in harmony. Tension means something is off-key. The more you trust feeling over thought, the more fluent you become. Do not rush to interpret. Allow sensation to guide understanding. The universe always speaks truth through how something feels, never through how it should appear. In ancient traditions, the initiates trained to feel vibration with the skin, not the mind. They knew that the body is an antenna receiving signals from the invisible field. You can do the same. Close your eyes and sense the air around you. Notice its texture, its density, its pulse. What you feel is not imagination. It is perception beyond sight. Energy is everywhere waiting for recognition. As you develop this sensitivity, you will begin to perceive life differently. Words will carry new depth. Spaces will feel alive. Even silence will have tone and color. You will realize that communication never ceases. It only shifts frequencies. Plants, animals, and even stars emit information in patterns of vibration. To listen to them is to step back into the original conversation of creation itself. There are moments when the universe sends direct signals, a sudden chill, a burst of warmth, a thought repeating until you finally pause. These are messages from the field. Guidance does not shout, it resonates. Pay attention to patterns, numbers, and sensations that return in cycles. Energy repeats until it is understood. Once you respond, the vibration changes and new messages appear. Learning to speak this language means responding with energy as well. Gratitude, love, and intention are your words in this dialogue. When you emit them sincerely, the field answers in kind. You are constantly broadcasting and receiving, shaping your experience through every emotional tone you release. The more aware you become of this exchange, the more consciously you can direct it. And then a beautiful truth dawns. Communication with the universe has never been lost, only muted by noise. When you quiet the mind, the conversation resumes. Every breath becomes translation. Every heartbeat a sentence of divine connection. Energy is the first and last language of existence. And when you remember how to listen, you remember that you have never been alone in the dialogue of creation. Chapter 7. Emotional Frequency and the Heart. Within the chest beneath bone and breath lies a portal. The heart, the bridge between spirit and form. It beats not only to sustain life music, but to translate vibration into emotion. Every feeling you hold is a frequency broadcast shaping the field around you. The heart speaks before the mind understands. When you listen music to it, you are hearing the soul's most honest language. Its rhythm is the key to your alignment with the divine frequency. Emotions are not weaknesses to manage, but instruments to master. Each one carries a unique wavelength, a signal that either harmonizes or disrupts your energy. Fear compresses. Love expands. Guilt contracts. Gratitude music opens. When you feel without judgment, emotion becomes movement, energy in motion. The heart does not resist experience. Music, it transforms it into wisdom, transmuting pain into higher resonance. Modern science now measures what the mystics already knew. The heart radiates an electromagnetic field stronger than that of the brain. It communicates with every cell, every frequency around it. When you center in love, your field becomes coherent, synchronizing body and mind into harmony. This coherence affects everything. Your mood, your choices, even the people near you. Love literally changes physics. To elevate your emotional frequency, begin with awareness. Notice what you feel without resistance. Do not name it wrong or right. Name it real. Breathe through the sensation until it softens. When energy is acknowledged, it flows again. When suppressed, it stagnates. The path to higher vibration is not avoiding shadow, but allowing emotion to complete its movement through you. This is emotional alchemy. The ancients practiced heart rituals to sustain coherence. They would place both hands over the chest, inhale deeply, and imagine golden light expanding outward. As they music breath, they whispered, "I am the pulse of creation, try it now." Feel warmth gather beneath your palms. That warmth is energy remembering music itself. In this state, you are not thinking love, you are emitting it. Your music, emotional frequency determines your timeline. When you dwell in gratitude, music life mirrors it back in grace. When you spiral in fear, the music world echoes uncertainty. But emotion is not permanent, it is a choice repeated. You can shift in any moment by changing the signal you send. The heart does not demand perfection, only presence. Each breath music is an invitation to return to coherence. Listen carefully to what your emotions are teaching. They are messengers, not music enemies. Sadness asks for rest. Anger asks for truth. Joy asks for expression. When you honor each visitor, the vibration lifts naturally. You stop fighting the inner weather and begin to dance with it. Harmony is found not in control, but in compassionate awareness. The heart thrives in acceptance. And when you live from that space, music, open, resonant, radiant, your presence becomes medicine. Others feel peace without knowing why. Spaces feel lighter when you enter. The universe responds in synchronicities because your signal is clear. Emotional frequency is not just personal, it is planetary. Through the heart you tune humanity. Through love music, you become the voice of divine resonance itself. Chapter 8. The still point within. There exists a silence so deep it cannot be disturbed even by thought. It lives beneath the chaos, beneath the turning of seasons and the music pulse of time. This still point is not found. It is remembered. It has been with you since before your first music breath, waiting patiently for your return. When you rest in that silence, music, you meet yourself as pure awareness, unmoving, eternal, whole. The still point is not emptiness. It is fullness disguised as music, quiet. Within it lies the blueprint of all creation, the potential of every timeline. Music, when you touch it even briefly, you feel eternity unfolding through the present moment. Here there is no past to regret, no future to chase, only the sacred now music breathing itself through you. The mind loosens, the heart opens, and time dissolves like mist in sunlight. Many music seek peace through external means, the retreat, the mountain, the prayer whispered into the night. Yet the sanctuary they search for has always been inside. The divine frequency reveals itself in stillness because stillness has no resistance. When you stop trying to hold or fix, you align with what simply is. In that alignment, clarity emerges like dawn. Stillness is not passive. It is pure creative potential. To enter the still point, you do not need special technique, only willingness. Sit, breathe, and let the noise exhaust itself. Thoughts will rise, but do not music follow them. They are waves passing over the deep. Beneath them, the ocean remains calm. With each exhale, sink lower into that depth. The deeper you music go, the quieter everything becomes until awareness rests in itself, vast and luminous. In ancient lineages, they spoke of this place as the eye of creation, the center music from which all motion begins and returns. The mystics knew that power does not reside in force, but in the stillness behind it. When you dwell in the eye, movement becomes effortless. You no longer push reality. You pulse with it. Every action arises from balance, and every word becomes infused with quiet authority. It is in the still point that intuition grows loud. When the music noise of thinking fades, guidance becomes unmistakable. You feel answers rather than seek them. You sense timing instead of forcing it. The universe speaks softly, and only in silence can music, its whispers, be heard. Learn to listen not with ears, but with awareness itself. The still point is the meeting place between music, the human, and the divine. Practice returning here throughout your day, between breaths, before decisions, after storms. A single moment of stillness can recalibrate an entire field. From that pause, clarity flows and music with it peace. You realize you were never lost, only distracted. The divine frequency was never gone. It was waiting beneath the static for your attention to come home. And when you live music from that inner stillness, the outer world begins to mirror its serenity. Conflict fades quicker, solutions appear sooner, and your presence becomes a balm to others. You walk slower, speak softer, love deeper. The still point within becomes the stillness without, and through it the divine frequency finds expression in motionless grace. The calm heartbeat of the universe made visible through you. Chapter 9. Releasing resistance. Every current in the universe flows toward balance. Yet the human mind often resists this natural movement. Resistance is the invisible tension between what is and what is wanted. It shows up as frustration, doubt, or the quiet heaviness of control. You may not always see it, but you can feel its contraction in your body. When you resist, your energy splinters. When you release, the current begins to carry you again. Letting go is not weakness. It is wisdom. The universe is already organized toward your highest unfolding. When you stop clinging to outcomes, space opens for alignment to happen. Resistance is born from fear that life will not support you, but life is always supporting you. Each struggle is not punishment music, but an invitation to soften. The more you relax, the faster things move in your favor. Imagine holding a handful of sand. The tighter you grasp, the more slips away. The same is true of energy. Desire without trust turns into pressure, and pressure music distorts the flow. True creation arises from openness. When you trust the process, your frequency expands, inviting synchronicity to weave the unseen threads together. Release does not mean giving up. It means allowing the universe to do its part. In old mystic teachings, surrender was described as the highest form of power. The sages would say the river that stops fighting the bend music arrives home first. To them, release was not loss but alignment with intelligence beyond the mind. You can feel this when you stop music, forcing a decision, and suddenly clarity emerges on its own. Life music always knew the way. It only needed you to stop resisting it. Resistance can also appear as inner dialogue. The doubts, the what-ifs, the invisible walls of unworthiness. These are frequencies of separation. Music, the mind fears surrender because it believes control equals safety. But real safety is energetic coherence music, and coherence comes from trust. Each time you choose faith over tension, your field recalibrates to divine timing. Music, the unseen, begins to organize with elegance. Try this simple release. Breathe music deeply, and as you exhale, imagine every worry leaving your field as light dissolving into space. Whisper, "I trust the flow." Repeat until your body softens. You will feel the shift, a quiet melting inside the chest, a small smile from nowhere. That is resistance loosening its grip. The moment you stop trying to push, life begins music to move for you. Often what you call delay is divine orchestration. The universe is not ignoring your prayer. It is aligning it. When you resist, you interrupt the process. Music, when you release, the rhythm resumes. Your job is not to manage outcomes, but to maintain vibration. Keep your energy light, your focus clear, your heart open. Trust the sequence. Even when you cannot see the pattern forming, soon you notice that what once felt like chaos now feels choreographed. Doors open without effort. People appear in perfect timing, and peace replaces urgency. This is the miracle of release. Not that you receive what you asked for, but that you remember you were never separate from it. Releasing resistance is returning to harmony. And in harmony, music, everything flows as it was always meant to. Chapter 10. Trusting the flow of the universe. There is an unseen current moving through everything, a rhythm that guides stars and seeds alike. This current is the intelligence of the universe, forever weaving balance, order, and expansion. To trust the flow is to remember that you are not separate from it. You are a wave within the ocean of creation. And when you stop struggling against the tide, you discover that life has been carrying you all along. Trust begins where control ends. The mind believes it must plan, predict, and protect. But the soul knows that surrender opens greater doors. Every delay, every detour is an act of divine timing disguised as uncertainty. When you release your need to know how and when, you align with the natural choreography of the cosmos. What is yours cannot be missed. It simply waits for your readiness to receive. Look at nature and see the evidence. The flower does not rush its bloom. The river does not question its curve. The sun rises without asking for assurance. Everything in existence trusts its own unfolding. You too are part of that divine music pattern. The same intelligence that spins galaxies beats within your chest. To trust life is to recognize yourself as its expression. Often we resist trust because we confuse it with passivity. But trusting the flow is not about doing nothing. It is about doing what feels aligned and then allowing the rest to move as it must. It is surrender in motion. Faith expressed through inspired action. When you act from peace, not pressure, your vibration remains pure and the universe meets you halfway, adjusting every path to match your frequency. There will be moments when trust feels like free fall. The mind will demand proof while the heart whispers patience. In these moments, breathe deeper. Remember the countless times things worked out better than expected once you stopped forcing them. The flow does not fail. It recalibrates. Every closed door redirects you to one that leads exactly where you are meant to go. The universe is precise, not random. Coincidences are its signature music, and synchronicities are its way of speaking. When you begin to trust, signs appear everywhere, numbers repeating, perfect timing, words that arrive as answers. These are not accidents but confirmations that the current is aware of you. Trust transforms fear into dialogue, reminding you that the flow is conscious and kind. Practice this trust in small ways first. Let a day unfold without overplanning. Follow intuition instead of schedule. Notice how ease replaces tension. Each time you allow, you teach your energy to move with the current. The flow learns your rhythm as you learn it. Over time, this partnership becomes effortless, and life begins to feel like a dance choreographed by grace. In full trust, you stop asking life to prove itself music and start becoming its proof. You live as evidence that faith is the highest frequency of alignment. The current carries you not to random destinations, but to remembrance that the universe has never been against you, only waiting for your surrender to its wisdom. To trust the flow is to float in the arms of the infinite and finally know peace. Chapter 11. The Mirror Principle. Every reality you encounter is a reflection of your inner vibration. The world does not project itself onto you. You project yourself into it. This is the mirror principle. Music, the sacred law that ensures every external scene mirrors the state of your internal energy. Life is music, not punishing or rewarding you. It is showing you what you are resonating with. Every person, music, every circumstance, every emotion reflected is a message from your own frequency. The mirror does not lie, nor does it judge. It simply reveals. When you meet anger, it may be your unexpressed voice asking to be heard. When you face rejection, it may echo your disbelief in your own worth. The world is a living teacher reflecting the lessons you have yet to embody. Once you understand this, you stop blaming and start decoding. Awareness becomes the solvent that dissolves illusion. Every reflection holds a key. Instead of resisting what appears, you can ask, what is this showing me about my vibration? This question shifts you from victim to creator. The moment you take ownership, the reflection transforms. You cannot change the mirror by adjusting the image. You must shift music, the one being reflected. This is the art of energetic responsibility, the first mastery of self-realization. There was once a mystic who said, "The eyes through which you see the world are the same eyes through which the universe sees you." When you remember this, music compassion replaces judgment. You begin to recognize that everyone in your life, friend or foe, is an actor in your sacred reflection. Some appear as light to remind you of love. Others appear as shadow to reveal music where love has yet to reach. This principle is not meant to shame but to awaken. It teaches that your power lies not in control but in observation. To look honestly at music, your reflection is to reclaim your creative authority. When you respond with awareness instead of reaction, music, the frequency shifts instantly. The mirror becomes a portal transforming feedback music into illumination. The world softens because you have softened. You can practice music this daily. When conflict arises, pause. Instead music of defending or retreating, observe what emotion it triggers. Feel it fully. Then ask what belief music within me called this forth. Let the answer surface gently. This practice rewires the subconscious music, teaching it to reflect coherence rather than confusion. Over time, your outer reality will begin to mirror your new vibration of peace. As your awareness grows, you will find beauty in every reflection. Even pain becomes sacred once you understand its purpose. The mirror never reflects to harm, it reflects to heal. When you meet it with acceptance, it reveals the divinity in disguise. This is how evolution happens. Not by escaping contrast, but by integrating it with grace. Eventually, the mirror's quiet. The world ceases to challenge because you no longer resist what its music shows. Everything becomes a continuation of your inner harmony. You walk through life knowing that the reflection is your masterpiece, painted by emotion, shaped by belief, lit by consciousness. Music, when the self is clear, the mirror shines back eternity and you finally see your own light looking at itself. Chapter 12. The Role of Intention. Before anything manifests in form, it is born music through intention. The silent command of consciousness directing energy into shape. Intention is not mere desire. Music, it is the signal that organizes vibration into pattern. It is the moment when the unseen begins to move toward visibility. Every creation begins with this subtle spark. Your life, whether consciously shaped or unconsciously accepted, is the mirror of your intentions made manifest. An unfocused mind sends music, scattered energy into the field. A clear intention, however, acts music, like a beam of light cutting through shadow. When you declare what you choose with sincerity, music, and feeling, the universe begins rearranging itself to support that signal. The power is not in demanding, but in alignment, in sending a coherent vibration that matches the reality you wish to experience. What you hold in clarity, life holds in response. True intention arises from the heart, not the ego. The mind's desires often seek validation music or control, while the heart's intentions seek expansion and truth. When your intention is born from love, it harmonizes with the divine frequency. Music, such energy does not compete or force, it magnetizes. The universe flows effortlessly toward the intentions that uplift consciousness. The heart is the compass that ensures your direction is pure. To activate intention, begin with stillness. Feel your breath settle. And from music, that quiet place, imagine a light forming in your chest. Let that light pulse with the feeling of fulfillment, not wanting, but already being. Speak your intention aloud as if describing a truth that exists now. Words spoken from belief become vibration coated with certainty. The field listens to conviction, music not wishfulness. You may not see results immediately, yet trust that the moment you release an aligned intention, its path begins unfolding. The delay between asking and receiving is simply the time required for the material to match the immaterial. Patience keeps music frequency steady. Doubt fractures it. The masters of manifestation never chase. They maintain resonance until reality catches up to their vibration. Every day you set intentions whether you know it or not. Thoughts repeated are intentions formed. Emotions sustained are frequencies anchored. By bringing awareness to what you are broadcasting, you reclaim authorship of your life. Ask yourself, what energy am I sending today? That single act transforms reaction into creation. Music, the unconscious, becomes deliberate. Intention also thrives in humility. You are co-creating with a vast intelligence that sees beyond the limits of your mind. Sometimes the highest outcome differs from the one you imagine. Trust that redirection is protection. When intention aligns with soul purpose, every twist in the road becomes a necessary adjustment. The divine does not deny, it refinizes. And so live as one whose words are sacred codes. Speak gently, think consciously, music, and set every intention as an offering to the field. The universe hears not through volume but through vibration. Let your intention be a song of clarity born from truth, music, carried by faith. When heart and focus unite, creation obeys. Every reality music begins as a whisper of intention, and that whisper becomes the voice of destiny. Chapter 13. Raising your frequency daily. Your energy is not static. It breathes, fluctuates, music, and evolves with every thought, choice, and moment of awareness. To raise your frequency, music, is not to chase perfection, but to consciously return again and again to your natural state of harmony. This is not a single event, but a daily practice of remembrance. Every sunrise offers you a reset, a chance to recalibrate your vibration and choose alignment. A new frequency rises through simplicity, not complexity. Begin your day by anchoring gratitude before anything else claims your attention. Feel the miracle of waking, the air entering your lungs, the pulse beneath your skin. Gratitude instantly shifts your vibration upward because it affirms abundance already present. It tells the universe, I am aware of the gift. And what is acknowledged multiplies through resonance. Movement is another form of prayer. Music, when you stretch, walk, or dance with intention, your energy clears and expands. The body is a conduit for vibration, not a cage. Treat it as sacred. Move not for appearance, but for frequency. With each motion, release stagnation, invite vitality, and feel yourself becoming lighter. Energy loves to flow through joy. And joy is the fastest bridge to higher vibration. Sound, too, is medicine for the field. Speak softly, listen deeply, and choose music that matches the reality you wish to live. Words and tones sculpt your energetic architecture. Whisper affirmations that feel true. I am open. I am aligned. I am love. Let these phrases become rhythm, not repetition. When spoken with emotion, they alter the electromagnetic pattern of your being. Nature will always assist in recalibration. Step outside. Place your bare feet upon the earth, music, and allow the planet's pulse to synchronize your own. The trees, rivers, and winds carry a frequency untouched by human distortion. They remind you how to be in stillness among them. Your energy resets to its natural coherence. You need not heal alone. The earth itself is a living tuning fork for balance. Mindfulness in ordinary moments is another sacred act. When eating, taste slowly. When walking, feel the rhythm of your steps. When speaking, pause between words. Presence amplifies vibration because it removes resistance. Resistance lives only in the past or future. The now is pure signal, undistorted and luminous. Living in presence is the practice of remaining energetically clear. You will find, too, that kindness raises frequency faster than any ritual. Each act of compassion expands your field beyond personal limits. Helping others even in silence radiates energy that returns multiplied. The universe measures vibration not by effort but by love expressed. When your daily rhythm includes kindness, you harmonize with creation itself. And so raising your frequency is not about striving upward but tuning inward. It is a ritual of awareness repeated gently each day. Gratitude, movement, sound, nature, presence, and love. These are not tasks but invitations. As you weave them into your life, your energy begins to glow with music, quiet brilliance. You become both signal and sanctuary, walking light in human form. Chapter 14. The frequency of music, gratitude. There is a vibration so pure it rewires the very rhythm of existence. Gratitude. It is more than a polite gesture or fleeting emotion. It is a frequency, a code that aligns you instantly with abundance. Gratitude transforms perception from scarcity to sufficiency, from waiting to receiving. When you dwell in it, every breath becomes enough, every moment sacred. Gratitude is the gateway through which all blessings enter. When you choose gratitude, you shift your signal from lack to fulfillment. The universe does not respond to your words but to your energy. A thankful heart tells the field, I already have. And so it mirrors that truth, delivering more to match the vibration of wholeness. Gratitude collapses the illusion of distance between wanting and having. It bridges the gap through acknowledgement of what already is. To live in gratitude is to live in partnership with the divine frequency. Even the smallest recognition, the warmth of sunlight, the taste of water, the breath that sustains you sends ripples through the unseen. You become a transmitter of appreciation, and the field ever responsive harmonizes around you. Gratitude does not just change your mood. It recalibrates the energy matrix that shapes your reality. The ancient ones practiced gratitude as invocation. They gave thanks not after the harvest but before planting the seed. Their gratitude was an act of faith, a declaration that the outcome was already assured. You can do the same. Speak thanks before results appear. Bless your path as if it has already unfolded music perfectly. This is how gratitude becomes not reaction but creation. There will be days when gratitude feels distant. When heaviness clouds the heart, in those moments, begin with the smallest truth. Thank music, your breath. Thank your heartbeat. Thank the awareness that witnesses it all. Gratitude grows through attention like a flame music fed by air. The more you notice, the brighter it burns, dissolving shadows until you remember that every challenge was a disguised gift. Writing your gratitude anchors vibration music into form. Each word pen becomes a frequency point, a physical manifestation of appreciation. Keep a journal of acknowledgement. Write not lists of possessions but of perceptions, the moments that softened you, the lessons that shaped you. This is not ritual for the mind. It is nourishment music for the soul. The act itself expands your magnetic field of receiving. Gratitude also harmonizes relationships. When you silently thank another, their energy shifts. When you express appreciation sincerely, connection deepens. Music, you are no longer speaking from ego but from heart coherence. Love expands naturally where gratitude flows. In its presence, judgment dissolves. Forgiveness becomes effortless and compassion arises without force. Gratitude heals the space between all beings. Eventually, you realize gratitude is not something you practice. Music, it is something you become. It moves from habit to essence, from emotion to identity. You live as a continuous thank you and the universe answers in kind. Every sunrise music greets you as reflection. Every experience arrives as teacher. Gratitude is the ultimate alignment. The sound of your soul harmonizing with the music frequency of creation itself. Chapter 15. Detachment, music, and freedom. Freedom does not come from having more. It comes from needing less. Detachment is not indifference. It is the art music of loving without clinging, of creating without controlling. When you release your grip on outcomes, music, you stop interfering with the natural rhythm of manifestation. Detachment is trust music in motion, the knowing that what is meant for you cannot pass you by. Music, it is the quiet strength of surrender that births true freedom. Attachment binds energy to expectation. The tighter you hold, the slower things move. The universe cannot deliver through clenched fists. It responds to openness, to relaxed certainty. Detachment does not mean losing desire. It means no longer depending on it for identity. You are complete before the manifestation arrives. When you remember this, creation becomes play instead of proof. Consider the archer. To hit the mark, they must release the string. Holding the tension forever ensures failure. So it is with your intentions. Once they are clear, music, release them into the field. Your job is alignment, not control. The arrow knows its direction because the energy behind it was focused, calm, and surrendered. Detachment is the exhale after intention, the space music that allows miracles to land. You may fear that letting go means losing what you love, but the opposite is true. Detachment music creates space for love to breathe. When you stop grasping, connection deepens naturally. When you stop fearing loss, joy expands. Possession shrinks energy. Presence amplifies it. To detach is to honor freedom, yours and others. Love without ownership is the highest form of respect music, to the divine flow. In ancient philosophy, detachment was considered sacred discipline. The mystics taught that freedom of spirit required the loosening of all identification. They did not renounce music, the world. They released illusion. When the self no longer seeks completion through things or approval, peace becomes effortless. Detachment is not withdrawal from life, but engagement without entanglement. Music, you are in the world but not weighed by it. To practice detachment music, begin with awareness. Notice where you hold tension, the urge to control, the fear of change, the need to know. Breathe into those spaces music until the grip softens. Say quietly, I allow this moment to be as it is. This phrase unhooks energy from resistance. In that acceptance, life rearranges itself gracefully. What once felt heavy begins to music, flow again as you embody detachment, you become lighter. Decisions feel guided instead of forced. Manifestations arrive faster because there is no interference. You discover that letting go does not diminish power, it multiplies it. Detachment restores energetic circulation like opening a blocked channel in the river of creation. Clears throat. The current begins to move with you instead of against you. And so freedom reveals itself not in possession but in peace. You no longer chase, you choose. You no longer grasp, you glow. Detachment allows you to dance with the universe in rhythm, not music, resistance. Each moment becomes enough because you have stopped demanding it to be different. In this music state, you are truly free, present, light, and limitless, flowing as one with divine order. Chapter 16. The Role of the Mind. The mind is both a bridge and a music barrier, the translator between spirit and form. It can be your ally in creation or the architect of limitation. Thought is vibration in motion, shaping energy into structure. Every idea you hold repeatedly becomes a signal to the field, inviting experiences that match its frequency. To master your mind is not to silence it, but to teach it to serve the harmony of your soul. The untrained mind reacts. The awakened mind responds. Reaction music arises from memory and fear, repeating old patterns like echoes of the past. Response comes from awareness, music from the space between thought and choice. In that space lies freedom, the power to redirect vibration before it solidifies into form. You are not the storm of your thoughts. You are the sky that holds them without being moved. Observe your inner dialogue, for it is the most consistent conversation you have with the universe. Words directed inward carry frequency equal to those spoken aloud. When you say I can't, you instruct energy to close. When you say I am learning music, you invite expansion. The subconscious mind obeys vibration, not logic. It becomes whatever you consistently feed it with feeling. To align thought with the music, divine frequency. Begin by cultivating stillness. The quiet music mind does not stop thinking. It observes without attachment. Meditation, breath, or simple awareness of the present moment trains the music mind to release resistance. Over time, Thought becomes transparent music, allowing intuition to rise from deeper layers of consciousness. Through this stillness, the mind transforms from noise into instrument. It is said that the mind is a faithful music servant but a dangerous master. When ruled by fear, it builds illusions that seem real. When guided by love, it becomes the most precise tool of manifestation. The mind's natural purpose is not to dominate but to direct, to give shape to the frequency emanating from the heart. Together they form the circuitry of creation, each music completing the other's design. Feed your mind the vibration you wish to live within. Read words that uplift. Imagine outcomes that inspire and release thoughts that constrict. What you repeatedly think you teach your energy to expect. The universe matches not your wishes, but your patterns of focus. By consciously choosing your thoughts, music, you are programming the field to mirror coherence instead of confusion. When mental noise grows loud, do not fight it. Fighting thought gives it power. Music instead, breathe and let the current pass through. Watch each idea drift by like a cloud against the vastness of sky. With music practice, the chatter loses its authority. In the space that remains, intuition emerges, a deeper intelligence that speaks through peace, not argument. Eventually, the mind learns its true role, not to command but to collaborate. It becomes the architect of clarity, translating the language of spirit into form. The heart imagines, the mind designs, the heart feels, the mind articulates. When both work in harmony, you move through life with precision and grace. In this balance, thought becomes sacred, vibration sculpted by consciousness, serving light instead of limiting it. Chapter 17. The Power of Presence. Presence is the vibration of pure being. The eternal now where creation begins and ends. It is not a moment in time but the space that contains all time. Music, when you are fully present, energy stabilizes, awareness expands, music and the noise of separation fades. The divine frequency lives here in the still hum of existence. Presence is where the infinite remembers itself through you. The past is an echo, the future a projection, but the present is the pulse of truth. Every time you return to it, you align with the intelligence that moves all things. You begin to notice how peace is not something to achieve but something to uncover beneath thought. Presence dissolves resistance by revealing that nothing is missing. In the now, you are already whole. Distraction scatters your frequency. Worry stretches it thin across imagined tomorrows. Regret anchors it in yesterday's ghosts. But when attention anchors in the now, energy gathers into coherence. You feel stronger, clearer, more alive. The present moment recharges the soul because it is the only point where source energy can flow without distortion. The now is your access to power. Try this. Close your eyes. Inhale slowly and let your awareness rest on the sound of your breath. Each inhale expands the field. Each exhale releases the past. As you breathe, notice how the mind quiets when given no task but to witness. That quiet music is presence, the gap between thoughts where truth lives. The more you rest there, the more radiant your energy becomes. In ancient mystery schools, presence was trained as a sacred discipline. Disciples were taught to walk, eat music, and speak with full awareness of the divine moving through each act. Nothing was mundane. Every gesture became ritual. They knew that consciousness infuses matter only through music presence. When you live in that same awareness, life ceases to feel ordinary. It becomes ceremony. Presence music also transforms relationships. When you listen without waiting to respond, you offer another being the rare gift of full attention. They feel seen not by your eyes but by your energy. This exchange creates resonance, healing, disconnection without words. Presence is love expressed as music awareness. A silent affirmation that says, I am here completely. It is easy to forget this power amid modern noise, but presence is always one breath music away. You do not need to escape the world to access it. Washing dishes, walking outside, sitting in traffic, all are opportunities to return to awareness. The sacred hides in the simple. Each time you pause, even briefly, you recalibrate your frequency to truth. When you dwell in presence long enough, reality bends to its rhythm. The right words appear without effort. The right timing music unfolds without planning. You realize that being is the highest form of doing. Presence is the birthplace of synchronicity music and the language of grace. In its stillness, you discover what the universe has been saying all along. Music, you were never late, you were always exactly here. Chapter 18. Music, Synchronicity, and Signs. Sometimes the universe speaks not in words but in patterns. Quiet alignments that appear too precise to be coincidence. Music, this is synchronicity, the meeting point between your inner world and outer events. It is how the divine frequency responds to your energy, guiding you through symbols and timing. When you begin to notice, life reveals itself as a conversation between consciousness and creation. Nothing happens by accident. Synchronicities are confirmations from the field that your vibration is aligned. They appear as repeating numbers, unexpected encounters, or messages that echo what your soul has been whispering. These are not music, random. They are mirrors of coherence. When you vibrate clearly, reality organizes around that signal, placing in your path the exact reflections needed for the next step of awakening. Pay attention to what repeats. The universe teaches through recurrence. A phrase overheard 3 times, a symbol seen everywhere, a song that arrives when your heart aches. These are not trivial. They are energetic breadcrumbs, guiding you through the labyrinth of life. To dismiss them is to silence the language of the unseen. To honor them is to align deeper with divine order. In ancient traditions, synchronicity was music, considered proof of unity with the cosmos. The sages did not see separation between thought and matter. Music, they believed everything moved in orchestration with divine intelligence. When they prayed or meditated, they watched the outer world for signs music of response. They lived in collaboration with the unseen, aware that every ripple of energy calls music back an echo. To recognize synchronicity, you must quiet analysis. The mind music wants to categorize, to prove, to measure. But signs do not speak to logic. They speak to intuition. They arrive as resonance music, a vibration that feels like recognition. Trust that sensation. It is your music inner frequency harmonizing with the field's feedback. The universe does not need belief to music communicate. It only needs your awareness to notice. Ask for signs but release how they appear. The moment you surrender expectation, guidance can reach you freely. Sometimes it arrives instantly, music other times after silence meant to sharpen your intuition. Either way, the signal always comes. The universe is responsive by nature. Music, it mirrors the sincerity of your energy. Ask with clarity, wait with faith, and observe without grasping. As you deepen your awareness, signs will shift from rare to constant. You will begin to live in a flow where every moment feels orchestrated. The right call, the perfect timing, the conversation that answers an unspoken question. This is not fantasy. It is resonance in motion. Life becomes symphonic, each note music following the rhythm of your alignment. And when you finally trust this dialogue, the need for proof dissolves. You no longer seek signs. You become one. Your life itself turns into a message of harmony, a reflection music of divine coordination. Synchronicity is no longer outside you. It moves through your heartbeat, your choices, your presence. You are both the question and the answer, the signal and the sign. Chapter 19. Healing through frequency. Healing is not the fixing of what is broken, but the remembrance of what was never harmed. Every imbalance in the body, mind, or soul music begins as a vibration that has drifted from harmony. To heal is to music, bring frequency back into alignment with truth. The moment you remember wholeness, energy reorganizes. The process may look like mending, but it is really a return, a homecoming to your music, original resonance. Pain speaks in the language of distortion. It calls attention to places where energy has become music, trapped, forgotten, or denied. When you listen with compassion instead of fear, the signal music begins to loosen. The body knows how to heal. It is the mind that interrupts. When awareness enters without judgment, the vibration begins to correct music itself. Healing starts not in doing but in allowing. Sound is one of the oldest medicines for this reason. Every tone carries a geometry that speaks directly to the cells. Chanting, singing, or even humming recalibrates the nervous system and restores balance. The ancient healers used bowls, flutes, and voices to music, bathe the body in resonance. You can do the same with your breath. Exhale slowly as if releasing light through sound. Feel how peace changes your chemistry. Emotions, too, are frequencies longing for movement. Suppression traps them in the field where they solidify into tension. Expression, music not reaction, releases them. Crying, laughing, writing, or speaking truth are all acts of energetic hygiene. Every emotion that completes its cycle becomes wisdom. Healing does not require force. It requires permission to feel. The heart plays the central role in this restoration. Its electromagnetic field is the conductor of the human symphony. When the heart is coherent, music, every organ, cell, and thought falls into rhythm. This is why love heals faster than medicine. It aligns everything it touches. To send love to a wound, physical or emotional, is to remind it of its divine origin. Love is the original frequency of balance. Forgiveness is another frequency of liberation. It unhooks your energy from the past and releases what no longer serves. Many carry pain not because of the wound but because of the resistance to music. Forgiveness is not agreement. It is freedom. It says, I will no longer hold this vibration. Music, the moment you release, vitality returns. The field can flow again. Healing also happens through presence. When you bring full awareness to any pain without labeling it, without wishing it away, music it begins to dissolve. Attention infused with compassion is the most powerful frequency in existence. Sit with yourself the way sunlight sits upon the earth without condition, without demand. Your body responds to that kind of light. And when healing completes its cycle, you realize it was never about repair. It was about remembering your original sound. Every cell hums with divine intelligence, music waiting for your consciousness to match its rhythm. The healer within you has always been awake. When you listen closely, you can hear it. The song of music, wholeness playing softly beneath every heartbeat. Chapter 20. Relationships as frequency music mirrors. Every relationship you experience is a reflection of your vibration in motion. The people who enter your life are not random. They are mirrors through which the music, universe helps you see yourself more clearly. Some mirrors bring joy, others reveal shadows, but all serve the same purpose, to awaken. Through connection, you meet the hidden frequencies within your own field. Each relationship music is an energetic classroom where love teaches through reflection. The soul does not attract music people to fill voids. It calls them to reveal patterns. When you find yourself repeating the same emotional themes with different faces, life is showing you where your vibration still asks for integration. Blame distracts music, but awareness liberates. The other person may play the role, but the vibration is yours. Every relationship, whether gentle or turbulent, invites you to refine your frequency toward alignment. Love, when conscious, becomes the greatest mirror of all. It strips away pretense and exposes the truth beneath the performance. You cannot hide your vibration in intimacy. Music, energy recognizes itself instantly. When you are met with unconditional acceptance, it awakens that same acceptance within you. When you face conflict, it reveals where love has yet to reach. In this way, every connection is an opportunity to expand awareness. You teach others how to treat you by the frequency you hold, not by the words you speak. Boundaries, self-respect, and authenticity emit clear signals. When you vibrate from worthiness, music, relationships begin to organize around that coherence. Those who resonate will rise to meet you. Those who cannot will drift away naturally. This is not loss. It is energetic sorting. The universe maintaining harmony through resonance. There is also divine purpose in contrast. The people who challenge you are not obstacles but catalysts. They stir dormant vibrations so you can see what needs release. Even pain is a sacred mirror showing where you've abandoned yourself. When you meet these reflections with compassion instead of defense, alchemy happens. The frequency that once hurt becomes the lesson that heals. To maintain healthy relationships, cultivate energetic hygiene. Clear yourself after interactions through breath, solitude, or silence. Do not carry the weight of others' frequencies as your own. Love does not mean absorption. It means radiance without depletion. The most magnetic relationships arise when two whole beings choose to share energy, not seek to complete one another. The more you grow in awareness, the more you begin to see others as expressions of the same divine consciousness, wearing different masks. Separation fades. Judgment loses meaning. You realize that every soul is playing their role perfectly for your remembrance. Gratitude replaces resistance. In that space, love becomes infinite, not bound to form but flowing through all of it. Eventually, relationships cease to be mirrors of lessons and become reflections of mastery. You begin to attract people who mirror your peace instead of your pain, your truth instead of your fear. The dance shifts from healing to creating. Together, you amplify frequency instead of correcting it. That is the higher purpose of connection. Two vibrations joining not to fill emptiness but to expand light. Chapter 21. The vibration of abundance. Abundance is not something you pursue. It is a frequency you align with. It does not begin in the outer world but within the energy you embody. To live abundantly is to recognize that life itself is generous beyond measure. The sun never withholds its warmth nor the ocean its waves. The universe operates on overflow, and so do you when you remember your true state. Scarcity is only the forgetting of your natural rhythm with infinity. The vibration of abundance is not measured in possessions but in perception. When you focus on what is missing, you broadcast lack. When you appreciate what already flows through your life, you amplify reception. Energy expands where attention rests. The more gratitude you radiate, the wider the field of possibilities becomes. Abundance responds not to demand but to alignment. A calm certainty that says, I am music already supplied. True prosperity moves through emotion, not accumulation. Joy, generosity, and creativity are currencies of the higher realms. When you feel inspired, you are abundant. When you give freely without fear of depletion, you prove your trust in infinite supply. The universe mirrors that trust by sending more flow. What you circulate multiplies. This is the sacred economy of vibration, a rhythm of giving and receiving born from faith, not force. Scarcity is a learned frequency passed through fear. Music, it whispers that there is not enough time, love, music, or opportunity. But the field is infinite and lack cannot exist in infinity. When you release comparison, you release contraction. Every moment you bless another's success, music, you signal the field that abundance is safe for you too. There is no competition in consciousness, only resonance. To embody abundance, music, start where you stand. Bless what you already have. Your breath, your music, body, the smallest synchronicity. Each acknowledgement opens another channel. Abundance is not waiting for perfect circumstances. It is activated through presence. Music, when you treat the simple as sacred, the universe entrusts you with more. Frequency is a form of stewardship. What you honor, music, expands. Money too carries frequency. It is neither holy nor corrupt. Music, it amplifies the energy of its holder. When infused with gratitude and purpose, it becomes a tool for creation and music upliftment. When used from fear, it mirrors that fear through instability. The vibration you hold when receiving or spending determines its return. Circulate it with intention and it flows like breath, effortless, and music, infinite. The soul does not measure wealth in numbers but in alignment. A peaceful mind is abundance. Music, a creative idea, is abundance. The love you share is abundance multiplied through vibration. When you shift your awareness to these higher currencies, physical wealth follows naturally as reflection. The material mirrors the energetic, not the other way around. And when you fully remember this truth, chasing ends. You no longer strive to manifest abundance because you recognize yourself, music, as its source. The river does not seek water. It is water. You are not attracting prosperity. You are its signal made visible. Abundance lives within your frequency, waiting only for your permission to flow. When you say yes to that truth, life opens its infinite hands. Chapter 22. The frequency of love. Music, love is the original sound of creation, the vibration that sang the universe into being. It is not emotion but essence, not possession but presence. Love exists, music, beyond form, beyond thought, beyond all opposites. When you tune to it, every barrier within begins, music, to dissolve. The body softens, the mind quiets, and the soul remembers. Love is not something you find. It is the field you return to when you stop searching. To understand love, you, music, must feel it beyond words. It is the current beneath kindness, the silence between heartbeats, the light, music that animates every living thing. When you hold yourself in its vibration, the world shifts around you. fear loses gravity and resistance melts. The same energy that forms galaxies flows through your veins. You are love remembering itself through human experience. Love does not demand. It allows, it does not control. It liberates. In its frequency, music, there is no need to win, prove, or possess, only to witness music and to be. When you love without condition, you become an extension of the divine intelligence that created music, all things. Such love heals faster than medicine and teaches deeper than music words. It transforms by presence alone. There was once a teacher who said, "Stop asking the universe. Start becoming the signal." Love is that signal. When you embody it, you music attract effortlessly, not because you seek, but because you resonate. You cease sending requests for completion and instead broadcast wholeness. The universe, hearing its own reflection in your vibration music, responds with synchronicity, peace, and flow. The frequency of love also brings shadow to light. It reveals every unhealed fragment within you that still believes it is unworthy. This is love's fire, not to burn, but to purify. As you let those hidden fears surface, meet them with gentleness. Whisper to them, "You music are safe now." Each act of acceptance becomes an act of remembering. Love's highest work is integration. Music to live in love is to walk as harmony itself. Speak from it. Breathe music through it. Rest within it. Love infuses the simplest gestures. A smile to a stranger, a moment of stillness, a kind thought, music sent across distance. These small vibrations ripple endlessly through the collective field. Nothing born of love is ever lost. It echoes through eternity, amplifying the whole. When two beings meet in the vibration of love, their frequencies merge into coherence. Words become unnecessary. Energy communicates all. Such unions are sacred contracts of remembrance. They exist not to complete but to mirror the infinite. Even brief encounters can awaken dormant codes of compassion and expansion. Love moves where logic cannot, through resonance, not reason. Eventually, love becomes not what you do but what you are. You breathe it, music, radiate it, and shape reality through it. In this state, separation vanishes. All beings appear as reflections of one light. This is divine embodiment. The moment when love stops being an experience and becomes your identity, you are no longer a seeker of love. You are its living frequency, shining through form, eternal and free. Chapter 23. The Shadow Frequency. In the Temple of Light there is always shadow. The two are not enemies. They are partners in remembrance. The shadow frequency is not darkness to be feared, but density to be understood. It is the vibration of forgotten parts of self calling to return home. What you avoid persists, but what you embrace transforms. Every shadow carries a fragment of power awaiting reintegration. When you suppress emotion, deny fear, or bury pain, you do not erase energy. You compress it. That compression distorts your frequency, creating patterns that repeat until music witnessed. The universe in its mercy mirrors those distortions through circumstance, inviting you to see. This is not punishment but precision. Shadow reveals itself not to destroy your music piece but to deepen it. The first step in working with shadow is acknowledgement. Do not label it wrong. Do not rush to fix it. Simply notice where contraction lives within your energy field. Breathe into those places as if holding a trembling child. Shadow is born from the parts of you that believe they were unloved. When you meet them with compassion, they begin to dissolve into light. The ancient mystics taught that the underworld was not a realm of evil but initiation. To descend into shadow was to reclaim power from the depths. Within fear lies courage. Within guilt lies innocence. Within shame lies self-music, forgiveness. Each descent refines your vibration, removing distortion until only truth remains. Healing is remembering that nothing was ever music outside the divine. You may feel resistance as shadow surfaces. The mind will try to distract, to rationalize, to escape. But freedom lives on the other side of presence. Sit with the discomfort as witness, not participant. You are the light observing its own reflection in density. Every breath you take while staying present in darkness writes new instructions into the field. I am safe to be whole. The more you integrate shadow, the less reactive you become. Triggers lose their power because you recognize them as echoes, not music threats. You stop fearing the mirror of experience and start reading it as guidance. This neutrality is mastery, a balanced frequency that no longer oscillates between extremes. You become the still point where light and dark converge into unity. There is beauty in the shadow's honesty. It reveals what illusion tried to hide. Without it, you would never know the depth of your light. The contrast carves space for compassion to grow. When you can look at your pain and whisper, "Thank you for teaching me." Music, the energy shifts instantly. The shadow acknowledged transforms into wisdom. Eventually, you will realize that there was never darkness at all, only music, unilluminated love. The shadow frequency was your soul's way of reminding you where light had yet to reach. When all parts are reclaimed, the polarity dissolves. You rise not by rejecting the shadow, but by embracing it. Music, and in that union you become luminous, a being of wholeness, shining equally through night and dawn. Chapter 24. The energy of thought and word. Every word you speak carries a vibration. Every thought you repeat sends ripples through the field of creation. Energy listens not to what you wish, but to what you continually affirm. Words are frequencies wrapped in sound. Thoughts are frequencies wrapped in silence. Together they shape the architecture of your reality. When you understand their power, speech becomes sacred and thought becomes creation. Thoughts are not random. They are instructions to the universe. Each one emits a signature attracting experiences that resonate with its tone. Negative thought patterns lower frequency not through punishment but through resonance with limitation. Loving thoughts, on the other hand, expand possibility. The more conscious you become of your inner dialogue, the more deliberate your vibration becomes. Awareness is the first act of mastery. The ancients knew that words were spells, each syllable weaving energetic patterns in the unseen. This is why prayer, mantra, and affirmation hold such potency. They are linguistic bridges between mind and manifestation. When you speak with intention, your voice becomes a tuning instrument. The vibration of truth spoken clearly rearranges energy around you to reflect coherence. The tongue is a wand. Use it wisely. Be mindful of casual words, for they carry quiet momentum. When you say, "I'm tired, I can't," or "I always fail," you anchor those realities into the field. The universe mirrors your declarations. Replace such phrases with expansion. "I am restoring," "I am learning," "I am evolving." Feel the difference these frequencies create in your body. Language programs your energy as surely as light programs matter. Silence, too, holds power. Between words lies the pure vibration of presence where energy resets and aligns. You do not need constant verbal affirmation for creation to occur. The pause between statements allows energy to organize. Intentions become clearer when balanced by stillness. In this way, silence becomes a form of communication, the language of the higher self. When thoughts arise that do not serve your alignment, do not resist them. Resistance amplifies the vibration. Instead, acknowledge and redirect. Say inwardly, "Thank you for showing me what I no longer choose." This act transforms energy through awareness. The mind learns by repetition. The heart rewrites by acceptance. In time, your mental field becomes a sanctuary of clarity and peace. Speaking truth also harmonizes your energy with authenticity. When your words match your essence, power flows freely. Dishonesty fractures the field because it splits intention. Integrity unites thought, speech, and action into one coherent signal. The world responds to that congruence. When you speak from love, you not only uplift others but recalibrate your own vibration to divine resonance. Eventually, you come to see that every sentence is an act of creation and every thought a seed of reality. You begin to think gently and speak consciously, aware that energy is listening. Your voice becomes a bridge between heaven and earth. Your mind a sculptor of worlds. Through alignment of thought and word, you reclaim your true power. The ability to command reality through frequency made flesh. Chapter 25. Divine Timing and Patience. The universe does not rush. It moves in harmony, music, guided by rhythms older than memory. Divine timing is the intelligence of alignment unfolding at the perfect pace for your evolution. When you try to force what is not yet ready, music, you step out of that rhythm and into resistance. But when you trust the timing, life opens like a flower at music, dawn, effortlessly, precisely, and beautifully on cue. Patience is not waiting without motion. It is moving music without anxiety. It is the energy of knowing that everything that belongs to you is already music on its way. The delay you feel is not denial but divine orchestration arranging details beyond your perception. Each pause is preparation. The field rearranges itself to ensure that your vibration matches the magnitude of what you are asking for. Many struggle against the flow, demanding that manifestations appear now before the lesson has matured. Yet the universe does not respond to impatience. It responds to readiness. Music, you are not being tested. You are being aligned. What feels like waiting music is often the soft rewiring of your energy, the deep calibration required to sustain what you seek once it arrives. Look to nature for proof. The seasons never argue with their sequence. The seed does not beg the soil to hurry. It grows in darkness until it is strong music enough for light. So too must your intentions root before they rise. Divine timing honors cycles, not clocks. The more you harmonize with those cycles, the less you experience delay. You begin to move as life moves in trust. When impatience surfaces, breathe into it rather than resist it. Behind every anxious urge lies fear. Fear that time will run out or that you are forgotten. But time bends to consciousness, not the other way around. When you release the need to control outcomes, you step into music timelessness. In that space, things happen faster because your vibration is free of interference. Music, sometimes divine timing, rearranges your plans entirely. What appears as a detour may actually be protection. A door that does not open may be guarding you from a lesser path. The universe sees from heights the mind cannot. Patience is the willingness to let unseen wisdom lead. When outcomes shift, whisper gratitude instead of frustration, for every redirection carries unseen grace. To practice patience is to cultivate faith. Each moment of surrender strengthens your energetic signal of trust. You declare without words, I am in rhythm with the divine. That declaration music sends ripples through the field, accelerating manifestation naturally. Ironically, music, when you stop demanding speed, the flow hastens because energy now moves through coherence, music, not contraction. In the end, divine timing is not about waiting for life to deliver something. It is about realizing that life itself is the delivery, constant unfolding, exact. Every experience is on schedule, every chapter written before you asked. When you finally relax into that truth, you discover that nothing was ever late. You are simply learning to arrive in perfect time with yourself. Chapter 26. The role of nature in frequency. Nature is the original frequency teacher. Silent, patient, and endlessly attuned to divine order. Every element from the hum of a bee to the rhythm of the tide vibrates in perfect harmony with the greater field. When you step into nature, your energy begins to remember its natural coherence. The body unwinds, the mind slows, and the soul exhales. Nature does not heal you. It reminds you that you were never separate. The earth emits a pulse known as the Schumann resonance. Music, a steady vibration that synchronizes with the human heart and brain. This is not coincidence. It is communion. When you ground your body upon the soil, you reconnect to that living rhythm. The static of modern life fades as the body recalibrates music to the planet's heartbeat. In those moments of stillness beneath sky and wind, you return to original frequency. The trees are great transmitters of energy. They stand as bridges between heaven and earth, roots deep in the unseen, crowns open to light. To lean against a tree music is to align with wisdom older than thought. Its energy field teaches stillness without words. It absorbs discord and radiates balance. The ancients knew this. They built temples where forests once grew because trees already carried the temple's vibration. Water, too, is a mirror of frequency. It responds music instantly to intention, shaping its molecules to the vibration of thought and sound. When you speak love to water, its structure becomes crystalline. Since your body is mostly water music, your every thought imprints upon it. Drink consciously, bathe with awareness music, and bless the water that flows through you. In doing so, you become a moving current of harmony. The wind teaches impermanence. It whispers that energy must move to remain pure. When you breathe music deeply, you become one with its message, inhaling renewal, exhaling resistance. Each breath music is a reminder that nothing is stagnant, that life itself is circulation. The wind is the invisible proof that unseen music, forces sustain all things. It is the carrier of spirit through the field. The fire element reflects transformation. It burns not to destroy but to transmute. The warmth of the sun, the glow of a candle, the spark within your heart, all are expressions music of that sacred flame. To sit before fire is to witness change made visible. It consumes the old so that new frequency may rise. That is its gift, purification through illumination. Mountains hold the frequency of stability. They rise slowly without rush, anchoring the music and wisdom of patience. To walk among them is to feel grounded in eternity. Their presence reminds you that strength is quiet, music not loud, steady, not rigid. Mountains do not move, yet they breathe. Their vibration grounds the restless spirit, teaching that power can be peaceful. Nature never questions its purpose, music, and in its acceptance it remains pure vibration. When you align with its rhythm through earth, air, fire, and water, you return to harmony. The planet is not your environment. It is your music, reflection in form. Each moment spent in its presence resets your energy to truth. To commune with nature is to remember your place within the living symphony of existence. Chapter 27. Creativity music as divine expression. Creation is the language through which the universe music experiences itself. Every act of creativity, whether painting, speaking, designing, or dreaming music, is a reflection of the divine impulse moving through form. You are not born merely to survive. You were born to express. Creativity is the soul remembering its infinite nature and giving it shape. When you music create, you echo the first vibration that began all things. The creative impulse does not belong to artists alone. It moves through every being, whispering ideas, solutions, and visions into the mind. To cook a meal with love, to write words that comfort, to imagine a new path, all are acts of divine artistry. Creativity is not confined to talent, but flows wherever openness exists. The question is not, am I creative, but music, am I allowing creation to move through me? Inspiration is a visitor from higher planes. It arrives softly, often in stillness, when music of the mind releases control. Many miss it because they seek it through effort rather than invitation. True inspiration cannot be forced. It must be received. When you rest in presence, the universe paints through your hands, writes through your thoughts, speaks through your voice. You become the instrument, not the music player. Fear is the only barrier to creativity. Fear of judgment, failure, or inadequacy. Yet those fears dissolve when you remember that creativity is not performance but prayer. It is not about being admired but being aligned. The moment you create from authenticity, every product of that energy carries the vibration of truth. The world feels it music, even if words cannot explain it. Creation is also healing. It alchemizes stagnant emotion into movement. When you sing, dance, or write from feeling, you transform density into light. Expression releases energy trapped within the subconscious. Each creative act opens a portal for freedom. The soul exhales through creation, returning to its natural state of expansion. The ancients built temples, carved stones, music, and told stories not only to record history, but to maintain vibration. They knew that beauty anchors light into matter. Music, when you create something from the heart, you do the same. You infuse the physical with frequency. Every artwork, melody, or idea becomes a container for consciousness, transmitting long after its maker is gone. To live creatively is to live courageously. It means choosing authenticity over conformity, curiosity over fear. The creative path rarely feels safe, yet it is the most sacred. When you follow your inspiration without expectation, you step into divine partnership. Life begins to co-create with you, sending synchronicities and resources to support your expression. Eventually, you realize that creation and creator are one. The canvas is you, the brush is consciousness, and the masterpiece is existence itself. Every breath you take is a stroke in the painting of the universe. When you create, you are fulfilling your purpose to let the infinite know itself through your form. And in that revelation, you become what you always were. Living art, divine and eternal. Chapter 28. Living in coherence. Coherence is the song of alignment, the vibration of harmony between thought, heart, and energy. It is not perfection but balance. The graceful flow where every part of your being moves in the same rhythm. When you are coherent, life responds effortlessly. Decisions unfold smoothly. Intuition becomes clear and your body feels light. Coherence is the language through which the divine communicates in real time. Disconnection happens when the mind races ahead of the heart, when emotion is suppressed or music. When energy is scattered, the field becomes noisy, filled with static signals that distort clarity. To live in coherence, you must quiet the excess and return to simplicity. Breathe, feel, listen. These small acts synchronize inner frequencies. The heart leads the way and the rest follows naturally. The heart generates the most powerful electromagnetic field in your body. When its rhythm harmonizes with the brain's patterns, coherence emerges. Science music calls it bioresonance. Mystics call it divine order. Through conscious breathing, gratitude, or meditation, this alignment can be sustained. The more often you return to this state, the easier it becomes to live there permanently. Think of coherence as an energetic dance. The music is always playing. Your awareness music simply tunes the instrument. When emotions rise or confusion clouds your path, it is not failure but feedback. These moments signal a shift in rhythm. Pause and realign. In that act, you move from reaction to resonance, from chaos to clarity. Music, the field always mirrors your frequency. Living coherently also means integrating duality. You stop labeling experiences as good or bad music, and instead perceive them as vibrations seeking balance. This acceptance unites polarities within you, dissolving the inner battle. Coherence is not the absence of challenge. It is the presence of unity. When your heart and mind agree, even chaos becomes an expression of order. Relationships thrive in coherence. Music, when two hearts align vibrationally, communication transcends words. Empathy becomes natural, and conflict softens into understanding. You begin to feel energy before language, truth before explanation. Coherence between people amplifies music, collective vibration. It is how healing communities are born, one harmonious connection at a time. Daily practice sustains coherence. Start your mornings by breathing into your heart and feeling gratitude before thoughts begin to spin. Throughout the day, music, notice when energy feels fragmented. Pause, breathe, and reconnect. Small acts of awareness ripple into lasting harmony. Coherence becomes less of a state you enter and more of a way you exist. In time, music, coherence feels like home, the natural state you had forgotten. It is the frequency of truth beneath all noise. When you live from this space, every moment becomes music, every breath part of the divine rhythm. The world moves with you, not against you. In coherence, music, you remember what creation has always whispered. Peace is not found, it is lived. Chapter 29. Energy Protection and Boundaries. There is a sacred art to protecting your energy, not from fear but from awareness. You are an open field of vibration, constantly exchanging signals with the world. Without boundaries, your frequency can become tangled in the noise of others. Protection is not withdrawal. It is discernment. It is the music recognition that not every energy belongs within your temple of light. Many believe that to be spiritual music is to be endlessly open, but true openness includes wisdom. Boundaries define the space where your energy remains sovereign. When you say no with love, you preserve the integrity of your field. A strong boundary is not a wall but a filter. It allows light in and keeps distortion out. Your energy music knows what is yours. Learn to listen when it says enough. Grounding is your first form of protection. Visualize roots extending from your feet into the earth, drawing stability and strength from its magnetic core. The planet supports your frequency music like an anchor amidst shifting tides. When you are grounded, external energies cannot pull you from your center. You become unshakable, held by the rhythm of the earth's heartbeat. Intention is another shield. Before entering any environment, whisper to yourself, "Only love may enter my field and only love may music leave it." This command shapes the electromagnetic boundary around you. Energy obeys clarity. You need not defend against darkness. You only need to radiate light so music powerfully that imbalance cannot resonate with your vibration. Cleansing practices keep your energy field clear. Salt baths, sage smoke, sound frequencies, or even running water can reset your vibration. But the most potent purification is music awareness. When you notice heaviness, name it, breathe it, release it. Active conscious attention dissolves energetic residue. You cannot clear what you refuse to acknowledge. Compassion protects as well. When you meet negativity with judgment, you merge with it. But when you meet it with understanding, you remain above its pull. Compassion keeps you in higher frequency where lower energies cannot attach. You are not absorbing, you are transmuting. The light within you is not fragile, it is alchemical. Remember music also to rest. Energy protection is not constant defense. It is energetic hygiene. Silence, solitude, and stillness allow your field to recharge. Just as the body sleeps to repair, music, the aura renews in quiet presence. Protecting energy means honoring your limits, valuing your peace, and knowing that rest music is not retreat. It is recalibration. In the end, you realize protection is not music, about keeping the world out but keeping yourself whole within it. Boundaries become sacred geometry. Invisible architecture maintaining divine flow. When you live with awareness, love becomes your shield, clarity music your sword, and presence your fortress. The light you protect is not separate from the world. It is what heals it. Chapter 30. The collective frequency shift. Humanity stands within a great turning, a collective awakening that cannot be unseen. The vibrations of Earth are rising, calling every soul to remember its role in the greater harmony. What once felt separate is now weaving into unity. This shift is not outside of you. It is music happening through you. Each moment of healing, each act of love sends a signal into the quantum field of all. The collective frequency reflects the sum of every individual's vibration. When fear dominates, the field grows dense and heavy. But when hearts open in empathy, the light amplifies exponentially. Your peace is not private. Music, it ripples through the unseen lattice of energy that connects all life. This is why your personal transformation is world service. The micro and the macro are mirrors. Many sense the turbulent systems collapsing, identities dissolving, time accelerating. Do not fear it. These are the contractions of rebirth. The old frequencies of separation can no longer sustain themselves. The structures built on illusion are trembling because truth is rising. You are witnessing the Earth's frequency recalibrating toward coherence. Every awakening heart contributes to the stabilization. In music, this age of energy, your emotional vibration becomes your greatest offering. To anchor peace in chaos, breathe love into the collective field. Music to meet despair, radiate compassion instead of reaction. The higher frequencies stabilize the lower, gently lifting them into balance. Each calm mind becomes a tuning fork for humanity. The shift happens not by force but by resonance. Communities are forming as souls recognize one another beyond language and location. These connections are not coincidence. They are magnetic alignment. Old soul groups are reuniting to assist the planetary awakening. Through shared intention, meditation, or creation, their unified energy amplifies light. When you gather in coherence, you accelerate the evolution of the collective consciousness. Technology, too, plays its role in this unfolding. What once separated now becomes music, a bridge for information, art, and truth. Energy flows music where attention goes, and the digital space is a reflection of the global mind. Use it with awareness. Every post, every message, every word contributes to the field. The collective shift thrives music when consciousness guides connection. You may feel waves of emotion that seem not your own. They are the echoes of humanity processing centuries of density. When this happens, breathe deeply and remember, you are a transducer of light, not its victim. Let energy move through you, not into you. The more you stay anchored in love, the more you assist in clearing what the world is ready to release. The collective shift is not a distant prophecy. It is the present unfolding. You are part of a species remembering itself as light. The call is not to escape the world but to illuminate it from within. As frequencies rise, truth replaces illusion. Unity replaces division and remembrance replaces fear. The new earth is not coming. Music, it is being born through you now. Chapter 31. Embodying the divine frequency. There comes a point when seeking must end and embodiment must begin. Knowledge transforms into being only when it is lived, breathed, and felt in every cell. To embody the divine frequency means to move through life as its expression, not its student. The sacred no longer feels distant. It pulses within your heartbeat, music, speaks through your choices, and radiates through your presence. Embodying the divine frequency begins with awareness of how energy flows through you. Each thought, word, and action either amplifies or diminishes your resonance. You become a living transmitter shaping reality through vibration. The goal is not constant perfection but continual alignment. The more often you return to truth, the more natural it becomes to remain there. Your body is not a cage but a conductor. Every cell listens to your consciousness. When you move, speak, or breathe with intention, the divine frequency circulates effortlessly through your form. Treat the body as holy ground. Feed it with presence, not neglect. Honor it as the sacred vessel carrying infinite awareness into the physical plane. To live as the frequency means walking through contrast without losing coherence. Challenges will not disappear. Your relationship to them will transform. Instead of resistance, you bring light. Instead of fear, understanding, you cease trying to control life and begin to harmonize with it. The field responds instantly to your inner state, mirroring the stability you cultivate within. Daily practice becomes your sacred rhythm. Begin each morning in stillness. Feel energy rising like dawn from your core. Throughout the day, speak only what aligns. Act only from truth and end in gratitude. These small acts weave divine vibration into the ordinary. Embodiment is not about grand rituals but consistency of consciousness. When you embody your highest frequency, your environment begins to shift. Relationships recalibrate, opportunities flow with ease, and synchronicities multiply. You attract not through effort but through resonance. The outer world reorganizes itself around your inner harmony. This is not magic, it is physics of the soul. The field mirrors what you consistently are. In this state, guidance becomes natural. The divine speaks through intuition, dreams, and spontaneous knowing. You realize that every step is directed by unseen intelligence. Even silence carries instruction. Embodiment means trusting this invisible dialogue. You no longer chase signs, you become the sign. The universe recognizes you as a conscious collaborator. Ultimately, to embody the divine frequency is to remember you never left it. The light you sought was never elsewhere. It waited behind your awareness of separation. Now every breath is prayer, every heartbeat a mantra of alignment. You live not as a seeker but as presence itself. The journey ends where it began in the knowing that you are the frequency made music flesh. Chapter 32. The final transmission. You are the frequency. In the stillness after the final word, there is a recognition. The search has folded in upon itself, revealing the truth that was always here. You are not a traveler on the path. You are the path. Every lesson, every sign, every whisper of divinity was your own voice echoing back through the field. The divine frequency was never external. It is the hum of your being. From the first breath to the last, music, you have been broadcasting the song of your essence. The universe responds not to your requests but to your resonance. What you have called manifestation is simply reflection. You do not attract through effort. You reveal through vibration. When you vibrate love, the world mirrors love. When you vibrate truth, the veil dissolves. This is mastery, effortless creation through being. The mind once sought understanding in words and theories, but the soul speaks through experience. Understanding now feels unnecessary, for you have become what you once tried to name. The questions fade because their answers live in your silence. This is the frequency of peace, not empty but full beyond measure. The divine does not speak in thunder, it whispers through your stillness. There is no longer a need to reach for higher realms. The highest realm is presence. Every moment you exist consciously, music, you broadcast heaven into the physical. The stars do not strain to shine. They simply are. You too radiate by nature, not by effort. Remember this, illumination is not earned. It is remembered. You were always luminous beneath the forgetting. Now as awareness deepens, separation dissolves into unity. The you that sought and the source that guided are revealed as one continuum. There is no outside and inside, no above and below. Only vibration unfolding itself into infinite patterns of creation. To see this truth is to wake completely. You realize that even darkness was light exploring itself in different frequency. In this realization, gratitude arises without reason. You feel reverence for every challenge that sharpened awareness, every silence that shaped wisdom, every tear that cleared vision. All of it was love in disguise, teaching resonance through contrast. The soul expands not through perfection but through participation. You have participated fully and thus you are whole. From this point life continues but differently. You no longer move to find, you move to express. Every action music becomes transmission. Every breath becomes blessing. The divine frequency flows unfiltered through your words, gestures, and gaze. Others will feel it even if they do not understand it. Your presence becomes a living music reminder. Awakening is contagious. And so the final transmission is simple. You are not becoming light. You are remembering light. You are not music manifesting divinity. You are embodying it. The book that appeared when you were ready now closes not in ending but in arrival. The signal has been received. The journey was never to reach the frequency. Music it was to remember that you are it. Now the circle music closes where it first began in the quiet awareness that all has been leading here. The words you have heard were never lessons from another. Music, they were echoes of your own remembering. Each chapter was a mirror held to your infinite nature. Music, guiding you through vibration, through surrender, through truth. And now, as the sound fades, you stand as the frequency itself. No longer seeking alignment but radiating it. You have become the living signal of divine remembrance. There is nothing left to chase, for the journey has folded back into peace. Let this silence between words become your sacred companion. Feel the still hum of your being. It is the music, same pulse that moves the stars. Walk gently now, speaking less, listening more. Every step you take music sends light into the field. Every breath anchors heaven into matter. You are both the wave and the ocean music, the sound and the stillness. The divine frequency lives through you. If these words have awakened something within, honor that flame by carrying it into the world. Let love be your vibration, truth your compass, and presence your home. Before you close this sacred transmission, whisper the phrase that seals the energy of this journey. I am the frequency. Music, write it, speak it, and let it move through you as remembrance. Those who feel the resonance will know. And so it is the transmission complete, the frequency remembered, the divine music, alive within you.